going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Nick Bartell, editor-in-chief for Techno Warriors TV, and welcome to another paranormal interview. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have something super spooky today. We have the haunting and possession of Draven. Now, why is this person named Draven? Well, they are using, due to privacy reasons, they are requesting that we call him by Draven, and they are requesting an audio interview. But besides the fact, we have a demonologist on the show today. This guy has seen more spooky stuff than you can shake a stick at. This guy has things talk to him. This guy has things thrown at him. He's had things like come alive and say creepy, evil stuff. I mean, this makes Annabelle and Conjuring look like a little baby. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Draven, and he's going to tell you about all the hauntings and possessions he's had. So, take it away, Draven.
All right. So, with the possessions, mainly how me and my friend, I won't say their name, have went through it. Usually, whenever we are possessed, we're able to just forget about it. But you can also see what's going on, but you can't control yourself. You remember what happens, but you can't control anything in the body. Me and my friend have seen this before. We know just how to handle it. As with the hauntings, we are still learning the final steps and how to control it, but we're pretty deep. We're 99% done with learning how. We investigate in all kinds of things that happen all around town, such as hauntings, possessions, just anything out of the ordinary that people believe to be paranormal. They call my phone or my friend, and we get together whenever we can, and we just go and deal with it as best as we can. We use Ouija boards, we use Charlie, we use anything that you can imagine. We have about 3 of them that we use at the same time. We like to do sound waves, we do visuals, we even do it like in Phasmophobia. We leave a journal with a pen or a pencil, whatever we have on us, and we leave it there, and then we'll go turn on syncs, stuff like that, to see if we can't do anything to get that spirit to communicate with us.
So, tell me about how you were haunted your whole life. Let's talk about starting like from how to start, like from chronologically how they went through to now.
All right, so I was this is still shocking me to this day. I was dead on sight when I was born. And an hour later, right as they were about to put me into the freezing chambers, I started coughing and I was alive. My heartbeat started about 10 minutes after that, and my lungs started moving, and I was put on a heart rate machine to make sure that I stayed alive, and I lived on. But ever since then, I've noticed shadows moving across my room no matter where I move to. Shadows moving across my room with strange whispers in the middle of the night. And then pain. When I was little, I remember this vaguely. Uh, I was asleep and I just jolt up in my sleep. I look around because I thought something loud had happened. And then I hear, "Hey, why not we get that kid, eh?" And then pain started shooting all throughout my body.
Oh
And
boy.
and then one of the voices said, "It's working. Keep doing it." And then after that, I had fallen asleep again.
So you were physically, demonically attacked.
Indeed.
Whoa, that's super spooky. So tell me about some of the activity that would happen during your hauntings.
Strange things actually. I used to have a lot of stuffed animals into my room. No longer there, of course. But every time I would pull one thing out or another, it would shift. And not in the way that it would shift to kind of adjust its weight and be on the ground like gravity does, but it would move around in a way that makes you think that there's something underneath, but there isn't.
Whoa.
For example, I had this stuffed Mario. It was one of those old ones where the head was bigger than the body, soft, of course. All of it was soft. I set it down on the ground. He was sprawled out in a T, and he moved. His leg moved over the other one. I looked over because I heard something move, and I saw that, and I was like, "Huh, all right." And I taken him and put him into a box that I was packing them in before I was about to move, and the box opened, and the Mario halfway flopped out.
Whoa. You still with me?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. That's so what happened after that?
After that, I put him back in the box. I taped it shut and put that box in the moving truck. But whenever we got to our new house here in Oklahoma, um, I opened the box and the Mario was gone.
Wow.
Never saw it again after that.
So do you believe that the Mario became possessed?
I would like to assume so because it just puts an answer behind that question.
Like in one of our videos, which you can check up here, we visited a the haunting of Hill's house. Big shout out to Jill in Salt Lake City, Utah. Old school antique shop with hundreds of haunted paranormal, like these were like possessed objects. Now, last night you told me you've had even some real spooky stuff that had to do with, haunted objects, possessed objects. Tell me a little about that.
So, a demon is basically your spirit, your normal spirit that has unfinished business, but is more angry than the rest.
And it's more different than a vengeful spirit or an angry spirit. The correct?
Yeah. So with demons, you have them that are able to possess and possibly kill you.
Uh-huh.
But with spirits, they usually just possess and move stuff around, stuff like that. But these demons are out for blood.
You broke up there.
Sorry, I let go early. They are out for blood. They will not stop at anything to make sure whoever they want dead is dead.
Okay. Now, are you familiar like with the Conjuring movies? Have you ever seen those Conjuring because we talk about pop culture and
Um,
stuff. Conjuring, Annabelle, the It movies.
I have seen a little bit of it. One it had nothing to do with what goes on here, but I have, as a matter of fact, seen the what is it? The Mirror movie. I can't remember the name of it. Alias.
Yeah.
That has a little bit to do with what we do. It has the same concept where demons can be trapped into a single thing, inanimate object, something that they are connected with.
Oh wow. Now,
It was not the mirror in that movie, by the way. It was the frame.
the frame. And I hear demons can possess electronics.
Indeed, they can. I have a clock. My friend and I both have clocks actually that had. They were just normal digital clocks that were supposed to show you the time, the date, the weather, stuff like that. But they spelled out "You will die tonight" every night at 3 a.m. if you looked at it.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't a trigger thing. We both even switched clocks to see, and it happened the same time. We gave them to other people. They said that the same thing happened to them. And well, we took out the batteries, made sure there was nothing plugged in, and they still turn on.
And it still said you will die tonight. Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's super spooky. Now, and then so tell me about some of the other hauntings you've had in your life where it was like super spooky. Like you said you had things come alive and say demonic things to you? Like
Yes,
TVs.
that was with the stuffed animals. They would start moving and whispering things into my ear, such as "Burning in hell, help me. We will make sure you will not sleep tonight." Stuff like
Oh boy. Ladies and gentlemen, you will want some adult depends diapers for how scary this is. So, what were some of the other ones you had?
Well, one job me and my friend had, um, we went and investigated the old abandoned store here in town, and there was no shelves, anything. There was just a bunch of plywood, stuff like that on the ground. And as soon as we walked in, the air felt hot, steamy even though the building had been abandoned for 2 years.
Uh-huh.
Well, we go in there and we start poking around, seeing if we can find anything that could possibly mess up with and make us think that there's demons. When I move a board, it dropped, but the sound was silent.
So there's no air coming through there. So you couldn't even hear what dropped.
Exactly. Like I dropped it, just picked it up and like dead weighted, picked it up and dropped it again, but no sound came out when it hit the ground.
Oh, wow.
I looked at my friend and I said, "Did you hear that?" And she said, "No." And I said, "That's what I'm talking about. This place is definitely something else." And then nails start to move and they form the letter D.
Uh-huh.
And I look at my friend again and she looks at me and we say, "This is the place."
D?
D.
What was it gonna finish after that?
I do not know. We started setting up our stuff right after that, and I messed up the nails so they didn't spell out a word.
Oh, man.
I
What
honestly wish I would
what
have
other
let.
things happen in your house while you're growing up that was super, super scary?
Usually, whenever something scary happens, I've been in this town since I was born, but I do move every now and then. I haven't moved in a few years, but s- in this house, really, all I see are shadows and whispers in the middle of the night, around 4, 3, 5 a.m.
Mhm. And
It's
then
like deep in the night when nobody's awake, and I just wake up in the middle of the night.
so during last night, we had an off-camera so basically, we had a briefing last night to prepare for today's interview. Yesterday, you told me about some creatures, like some things that would have come out, and this wasn't the stuffed animals. This is like different things, like the TV that would start saying demonic stuff.
Oh yes, there are in fact demons that will take in electrical items, like with the clocks, but they can be transferred through electric items.
Wow. So tell me about the incident that you had with the TV coming and the voice coming through static saying that time to die tonight.
All right, so I was, I believe, 12 to 11. It was late at night. I was playing on my PlayStation 2
Okay.
and I turned it off and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to sleep now. And then I go to turn the TV off and it just goes to static. And I was like, huh? And I'm pushing the button to turn it off and it won't turn off. And then through the static, I hear it's a high pitched whine. It's getting higher and higher. I cover my ears because I was afraid something was going to happen. And then I hear, "You will die tonight, little one."
Boy! Oh my god, that's super scary. Holy crap.
And
That is
I
like
go and I unplug the TV, and it stays on for about 3 more seconds to repeat the phrase again before.
now did you ever have any things like speak like super aggressively demonic? Like um like what you ever seen The Conjuring? Like when or like, some other horror movie that specifies on the paranormal, like, object possession, like uh, the object will come possessed, it'll start screaming at you. Did you have anything like that happen?
Not that I remember.
Now, tell me some of the stuff that happened with the possession. Now, you've
I am a sleepwalker. We
okay.
know this. I sleepwalk. It's caused by stress and anxiety. But this time I was awake, wide awake at night, and I was laying there trying to fall asleep, and I get up, not willingly. My body just gets up, and I was like, okay, that's weird. And then I try to lay back down. I'm sorry. All right. With the possession, I got up, and I was trying to lay back down, but my body wouldn't let me, and it starts walking towards my door. And I'm in my mind thinking, "Oh my goodness, what's happening? What is happening?" And then my mind just goes foggy, and all I can see is this face. It was like looking at a wall with with a darker color that
Uh-huh.
is undescribable, with with fanged, bloody teeth, red eyes, staring down at me, smiling, and its clawed hands, mangled and several fingers missing, reaching out to me. I was just walking towards it. I was freaking out. I
Uh-huh.
couldn't move besides my body moving towards the door until my cat jumps down off my dresser and lands on the ground with a thump, and my body whirls around. And in that split second, my mind clears, and I jump back into bed.
Now, did you have like yesterday? You actually had manifestation during your meeting last night.
Correct.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. During our meeting that we had last night, he manifested. It was insane. Turns on the camera, okay? And that clock we were talking about started levitating. That's right, it started floating in the air.
Yep.
So, what else happened during that when I was trying to, calm me down and everything? Like, what was going on?
My computer screen started changing colors.
Okay.
A voice was in my head making me have a killing headache, and I was shaking. Um, a voice inside me was saying, "Do not do it. Don't do it. Don't do it." Every word caused me pain, like something was ripping through my brain.
Uh huh. And then I noticed all these messages appear, like um, death threats and saying you were like talking in a third person.
Right.
Now,
I'm not entirely sure of what is going on.
yeah.
Uh, I can see the messages here. They're they were not my doing. Something what this could possibly be a level 5 out of 15 warning level or danger level,
Uh huh.
but it could be something higher. Me and my friend are not sure.
So, do you and your friend plan to start a paranormal investigation team, like a ghost hunting team? Is that what you guys are planning to do?
No, that's just something we're doing on the side.
Okay. Now, check this out. How long have you been possessed for? Like, you even tried getting an exorcism, and that failed. Tell us about that.
Right. Well, one day, my family came into my room while I was asleep, and my body was contorting into ways they've never seen before in anybody on Earth.
That's an exorcist level type of stuff.
And
Boy,
dad decided to call the church before I woke up in case something happened. And he came in and when he walks in, I my eyes shoot open, and I say, "What's going on?" And I look down, and my arms are touching my butt.
what?
They're down there, and they're moving like worms in dirt.
Wow.
And after the exorcism, I felt better for about an hour, and the headaches came back.
And then the activity started happening again. Now, What was the worst haunting you've ever had? Like the worst experience you've ever had? Like the most activity all at once?
My family refer to it as Armageddon, where chaos broke loose in my room. I was at school and I had another headache, and it was almost time for lunch, so I decided to stop by home to get something to eat. And I walk into my room to set my backpack down. My family was in the living room watching TV, and I just hear a bunch of papers start flying around. I was like, "Dang it, I left my window open." My window was locked and shut.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I go to my living room and I'm like, did you guys turn on like a fan or something?" And they said, "No, we've been sitting here." And I said, "Well, can you come look at my room, please?" And it looked like a tornado was starting in my room. Papers, stuffed animals, my bed sheets, everything floating around in circles, backing out of the house whenever all hell broke loose. And we heard this tremendous roar. Everyone in town heard it. They thought that a tornado was happening too. It was enough to almost make me collapse.
The
My
sound was
headache
that
plus
loud?
sound wave. Yes, it was bad.
What did the sound feel like? I mean, what did it sound like when you heard the? Was it like an explosion, roar? Like,
It was as if a giant fire had hit a gas line, exploded into a megaphone 70.
you broke up there. Say that again?
It felt like as though a fire exploding a gas line had hit 70 megaphones.
Wow. So it must have felt like a sonic boom.
It felt like it. Everyone thought it was a sonic boom.
What during like did you what was going on in the room besides everything, the papers flying around? What else was happening in the room besides the sonic boom sound?
After we came in, nothing was on fire. Everything was fine. Everything was back to normal. And we were all looking around. And we noticed something on our shelf. We have an angel on our shelf,
Okay.
and she sits there all day, every day. And next to her, we have a cross. That cross was tilted sideways. It was at a complete 90-degree angle from it standing up.
Wow. That is nuts. Now, so that was the worst activity you've ever had during your haunting history.
Yes.
Did you ever feel yourself levitate?
No.
So nothing spooky like that, just a contorting. Cause like
Right.
that is just really, really insane. Like, I mean, this is okay. This is like horror movie level, and it's say no horror movie. This stuff actually happens, ladies and gentlemen, and it may if it's the real. It kind of feels like the real Conjuring. You ever seen that movie? Conjuring one,
No.
two, and three. Well, Conjuring three hasn't come out yet. It's delayed till next year, but it is it's spooky. Now, how long have you? Would you say you've been possessed for?
Um, well, I like to believe that it was whenever came back to life when I was born,
Mm-hmm.
but it could have just been a miracle about that. So I did not start hearing anything, seeing anything until I was.
Still with me?
Yeah, I'm here. Did you
Okay.
not hear that?
No, I didn't. You had your mic key off.
Ah, well, I'd like to believe that it was a miracle that I came back to life at birth. So I would say about 7 years old.
Wow. So 7 years old is when everything started happening.
Right, and I'm 16 to this day.
Wow. That is insane. Do you think the activity is going to get worse or do you think it's going to get better?
The more that me and my friend investigate the paranormal, the slightly worse it gets. But I believe one day we're gonna find a way to get rid of it all together, to where we can do this and we won't have to fear about anything.
What was the most haunted place you and your friend ever went to?
there's a barn outside of our town that animals go into all the time but never come out. And we've noticed this. We sat there for an hour one day just hanging out in the field, and we were looking at the barn, and this dog walks into the door that was slightly open, and the door closes. And we
Uh-huh.
thought, there's no one in there, though. How'd the door close? It wasn't windy. And we go in there, we go up to it, and we pull open the door, and there's just bones all over the ground, bleached white bones. The dog nowhere to be found. Nobody else in the barn, just bones.
Wow. What happened when you stepped did you guys go into the barn?
No, we stayed out. We didn't want to do any of that. We're still working up the courage to go to that barn to this day. We did that last year.
So that barn was so haunted that you don't even want to go into it.
Not at the moment. No, I think we're underprepared.
Oh boy. That is do you ever plan to go on in the future?
Do what?
Do you ever plan to go back to that barn in the future?
We're planning on it nowadays, but at the moment, no.
So, do you have any other experiences you want to add?
No, that would be everything. Actually, my life's just been one walk in hell.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it first. This is one of the most spookiest things. And a little thing before we, finish. You said you were you're studying. You said, tell me what you do. Like you said, you're like a demonologist or something.
That is correct. Me and my friend, we study the dark arts.
Okay.
We know how to summon demons, how to get rid of them, and we go to multiple different references before we do even the smallest job. We go, we look through these old history books to see. We have multiple articles of multiple different things in our rooms on posters. Our families do not approve of this, but we still do it. They can't approve us. Um, we always read through everything to make sure we know what we're doing before we do it. We know what resources we need for every job. We have this book that we write down everything we do in. Every experience, everything. Most of the pages in that book, however, do go missing after a few weeks at a time.
Uh huh.
And eventually, we're going to have enough resources to do anything.
Do you like? So you're familiar with all the big ones out there, like
Right.
Jezebel and Quetzalcoatl and Murder and Death and all these other ones.
Mhm.
Do you think a lot of it's like the movies?
It may seem like it, but when you actually experience it, there's nothing about movie that says it.
Because like there's Conjuring, there's Annabelle, there's Lights Out, there's It Chapter 1 and 2. There's all these other paranormal movies that show off how spooky everything. But the stuff you
Right.
experienced made it
Yeah.
made it
With
seem
Annabelle, though, I do have something about Annabelle. The fact that the doll moved around without a single peep is completely wrong. Everything has a sound, even the smallest thing.
really.
Indeed. The stuffed animals I had were about 3 inches tall, still made a rustling like clothes moving.
Wow. Did they like try to attack you or anything like that or
One did, but it was just short. They like laid on my neck or on my face to where I couldn't breathe, and then I just pushed it off.
whoa. So it's it's like
It
oh,
wasn't doing anything other than that. It was just a level 2 danger level.
so there's a danger level. Tell me about this danger level.
Me and my friend like to keep it 1 to 15, 15 being the most dangerous thing in the planet, and 1 being just a casual ghost. Um, Anything below a 6 or a 7, we count as casual, but anything other than that is hardcore. So for hardcore, we gear up and we prep ourselves extra with all our resources and everything like that. And as for casual, we just take the bare essentials.
So have you like the EVP readers, the spirit, you know what a spirit box is? Like, with the
Right.
Bluetooth
Yeah.
speaker and that kind of thing. Have
Yeah. Most of the time, though, there isn't a name that we use for the spirit box, so we just hold it out and we say, "If anyone's there, give us a sign."
okay. Now, I want to say a big shout out to Brian Murray. You ever heard of him from Ghost Hunters?
I do not watch Ghost Hunters actually.
Yeah, so I want to give a big shout out to him as well. Well, do you have anything else to add?
No, that'd be everything.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the spooky, insane, haunted interview, The Haunting and Possession of Draven. If you like this video, you know what to do. Hit that like button if you liked it. Hit that dislike button if you disliked it. And if you adored it, all you have to do is strangle that subscribe button, slap that like button in the face, and pow! Right in the kisser. Thank you guys so much and have an awesome spooky day!